right, first, Joel, Mr. Klatt, let's start with Ohio State. Everybody's freaking out. I like what I saw. Your thoughts?
I actually was encouraged with Ohio State. And you're right, everyone's freaking out. But remember, this is the Twitter age, and we live and die based on play-to-play. It's like we're live tweeting our feelings about their championship medal based on each snap of the football, which is a fairly new thing when you're talking about how we view sports as fans and as analysts. I will say this. If you look at what they were a year ago, they were the least experienced team in the country. They go to the playoff only losing one regular season game. Now they bring back a bunch of experience, in particular on the front, offensive line and defensive line. They've got the best pass rushers in the country.
Yep. And
all of a sudden, Colin, they have talent on the outside. Why am I more encouraged? Because all of a sudden you've got J.K. Dobbins setting a freshman record rushing the football for over 180 yards. You've got Paris Campbell. You've got Johnny Dixon. They have electricity in the skill positions, which they didn't possess a year ago. So this is a team that is clearly better than they were a year ago, and they were a playoff team last year.
By the way, Urban Meyer, the 2 times he lost a bowl game, the following year comes back and wins the national title. Fans are ridiculous. We allow NFL teams to improve. We allow NFL teams to improve. But if a college power has a bad half on the road in their opener, we write them off. Now, Florida State takes on Bama this weekend. I think whoever loses could still win the national championship. I think it's that close. So, I'm not going to overreact if Alabama, Florida State loses. They're both top 5 teams, clearly personnel. Your gut feeling on which way it goes?
I think this is a coin flip game. I think the number at 7 is crazy. So I would be all over Florida State if I was putting money down on this game. The secondary for Florida State is, I think, as talented a secondary as Jalen Hurts has faced or will face during the course of the season. Derwin James is, I think, the best defensive player in the entire country. And so that marriage of Brian Daboll, the new offensive coordinator at Alabama, and his second-year quarterback, Jalen Hurts, that's going to be very interesting to see how they attack the secondary of Florida State. Again, coin flip game. I would lean Bama because they have more experience in these situations. They've got the quarterback that was just in the national title game and played well down the stretch. Remember, it wasn't his fault that they lost. He drove them down, ran that touchdown in, and gave them a shot to win the national championship. It's for that reason that I would pick Bama. But, boy, this is a coin flip, maybe by a field goal.
Okay, huge game this weekend. Jim Harbaugh takes on Florida. Now, Florida's got multiple players suspended, but outside of one receiver, not a lot of their stars. I look at Michigan's schedule, and I have them losing 2 games. I have them losing at Penn State, and I have them losing at home to Ohio State. Jim Harbaugh, I'm reading an article this morning, Harbaugh's hated. I don't think everybody hates him. I like him. If they go 10-2, first of all, why is Harbaugh hated? And is 10-2 good enough for Harbaugh in year 3?
The second part of that question, that's tough because at some point he's going to have to beat Ohio State, right? Like that job revolves around that. It's not like other jobs in the country where if you win double-digit games, you're fine. You've got to beat Ohio State. So at some point, whether it's this year or next year, he's going to have to get over that hump and finally beat Urban Meyer and the Ohio State Buckeyes. So 10-2 with a loss to the Buckeyes might not be enough in the fans' eyes. Now, he's going to keep his job. I'm not talking about hot seat material, but as far as the vitriol for everyone else. Now, back to the first part of your question. Why is Jim Harbaugh so hated? Because our society hates being uncomfortable. Period. We just do. A network changes a graphics package on a football game, and everyone goes crazy. I hate the new graphics. Oh, I'm not used to what they're doing, and this and that. Someone puts a new announcer in the booth. Everybody hates it. They change a uniform. Everybody hates it. We hate change as a society because we can't stand to be uncomfortable. What does Jim Harbaugh do? He creates uncomfortable situations. That's why I love him. College football needs Jim Harbaugh like they need fresh air to breathe because we need to push the envelope. We need to change and evolve so that our sport becomes better and not archaic like some amateur 1975 version of college football, which I think should be dead.
Okay, tonight Washington plays. I think they have a chance to play for the national championship. I don't say that because I grew up in Seattle. Husky fans hate me because they think I like Sark more than Chris Peterson. I think they have an elite coach. I think they have an elite quarterback. I think they bring back everybody in the front seven, a lot of NFL guys. Like Ohio State, they're young in the back end. I think I'm not going to tell you what to bet. I don't even know what the line is on this game, but Rutgers is not going to score much.
Right.
You look at Washington's schedule, I think they're going to go minimum 11-1. Like, this is the team that's the most obviously going to end up in the Final Four, right?
I mean, or at least we'll play a conference championship game with the right to go. I think Alabama and Washington have the easiest road to that possible quarterfinal game, if you want to call it that, to get into their conference championship game. Washington's schedule is the 116th toughest schedule in the country. That's the easiest among any Power 5 schools. Think about this. They've got 2 non-conference opponents, one of them tonight in Rutgers and another in Fresno State, that are 2 of only 3 FBS teams that didn't win a league game last year. Now, I think Rutgers is going to be improved. They've got 5 new skill position players that will be touching the football for Chris Ash, but Washington is a great team. They've got an elite coach, just like you said. Let me just put some numbers behind that. Chris Peterson, the numbers would suggest he is the best coach not to have a national championship. If you're looking for the guy who's knocking on the door that's probably going to bust down that door next, it's probably going to be a Shaw, Harbaugh, or Chris Peterson. Those are your coaches that don't have a national championship that I think are the next breed to do that, the next group to do that.
Okay, I'm just going to throw a couple teams out and just give me one sentence. Miami, okay. I like the Miami Hurricanes. Miami Hurricanes, what are we getting this year?
Strong on defense, have to find a quarterback. I think they're not 2 years, but a year away, year and a half away from being an elite team competing for the ACC.
That's what I want to hear. Wisconsin.
I love Wisconsin. I think their defense is going to be fantastic. Hornibrook doesn't get the credit he deserves at the quarterback position. They will win the Big Ten West.
USC.
Elite talent at the most important position on the field. Sam Darnold is the best player in our sport. Clay Helton is one of those coaches, along with the 3 I mentioned, that has a chance to put himself on that national championship caliber.
And finally, Joel Klatt's almost upset of the week.
Yeah, I can't wait. I was waiting for this all week. There were 3 games I was looking at. I can't. It's hard for me to admit it, but the Colorado State-Colorado game, that's one I was looking at. I think Colorado State's going to play very well, be close in that game. I didn't pick it. I think 7 points in the Bama-Florida State game is crazy, but I didn't pick it. You know why? West Virginia, baby. West Virginia over Virginia Tech. That's one that you got to go with. Will Greer, their quarterback, he's a good player. Remember the transfer from Florida. And Justin Crawford, their running back, 7.3 yards per carry last year. West Virginia's going to be a really good team.
Is that an upset?
Oh, yeah.
That's a big one?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's 4 points. It's 4 points.
Okay. All right, Klatt. I'll be listening tonight, buddy.
You got it. Have a good one. Thanks, guys.
All right, Joel Klatt.